Good day, subscribers. This is Sir Gerald of JED Media, your learning resource partner. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification button, comment, like, and share. Keep on learning, and a good day once again. We are now on the continuation of our fourth quarter module number 5 for week 6, which talks about research parts and processes. This is for English 10 with Sir Gerald. To formally start our discussion, I want you first to go through with what are expected before moving on. First, we have to determine the basic outline of a research paper, identify a research process, and we may be given the chance to write a research report. We have discussed what research back then, and let's continue. Before we proceed, let's try to recall if you can still remember the research characteristics and features. Want you to identify the characteristics or features of research that are asked in these items. The first one, it is based on direct experience or observation of a researcher using verifiable evidence. What's your answer? Number 2, it follows orderly and sequential set of procedures which are based on valid procedures and principles. What's your answer? Let's have number 3. It involves the careful interpretation of data gathered through the use of analytical and logical reasoning. Number 4. It refers to the research which is unbiased and logical. And the last one, research exhibits careful and precise judgment. Let's check your answer. The answers will be revealed. First one is empirical, number 2 systematic, analytical, objective, and critical. I hope you got the perfect scores. Let's explore. I want you to think of something you want to accomplish this week. Please fill in the diagram with a series of steps to be taken in order to achieve your goal. Let's say, for example, you have 4 things to accomplish. So you have to fill this diagram in with those things that you would like to accomplish and the steps to be taken in order for you to achieve them. Should following a certain process in doing something important? Why? Please also explain. I hope you understand the instruction. Any questions? Let's continue. A research paper has essential sections, and as a researcher, you need to ensure that you get all the parts in the right order. As what I've told you last time, we cannot proceed to the next if we were not able to accomplish the first few parts. I hope that's clear. We need to have our title page, of course. The title page is very important. Chapter 1 would be the problem and its background. We will try to discuss this on the succeeding slides. Review of the related literature and studies. We have there the methodology, the presentation, analysis, and interpretation of our data, the summary, conclusion, and recommendations, plus the last one we have references. Let's discuss it. We have the title page. What can we find there? Of course, it is a research or the research inquiry in a capsule form. It must clearly reflect the topic of investigation. When we have the chapter 1, the problem and its background, this includes the issues or problems that have been identified by the researcher, as well as the specific questions which are needed to be answered in the study. That's what we call the research questions, plus your objectives or the purposes should be clearly stated. It should indicate why you are conducting the study. Why is there a need for this study or for this research to be studied or for this topic to be studied? Chapter 2, Review of the Related Literature and Studies. This segment or this part highlights the different published material and studies which are related to your topic. It analyzes the existing knowledge regarding the research topic. It identifies the gap in information that may be addressed by the research. So, after gathering different articles that are related to your topic of research, you have to compile them. You have to compile them, and if possible, you can come up with a review of this literature. Of course, in the last part, maybe, you have to provide what gaps are you filling in, meaning, out of those researches that you have gathered or out of those articles that you have understood and you have read, what gaps are you trying to address? Are there still need to be addressed? What are they? That would fit in to the review of the related literature and studies. Next, we have chapter number 3. That's what we called the methods. This part of your research paper explains the respondents, the design. It's either you have to have qualitative or quantitative, the instrument and statistical treatment that you will use in your study. You will be able to understand all of this when you will have your practical research in senior high school. It describes how the researcher will answer the research questions in a credible manner. And to tell you, there are parts or outlines that may not be the same with this one. That depends on the research design, or that depends on what your schools are providing you. But for now, let's have this one. Next, chapter number 4, we have the presentation, analysis, and interpretation of data. In this section, the researcher is presenting now the collected data. You have to analyze and interpret as well. You may be able to interpret it in a form of table, in a form of diagram, figures, or whatnot, as long as you're able to deliver it or to present it comprehensively. And at chapter 5 would be your summary, conclusion, and recommendations. It contains the main points of the research, the findings, and these are discussed and interpreted. Based on the results of your study, you need to provide measures or directions to be taken. You have to guide the next or the future researchers what you missed in your study, or what do you want the other researchers would like to address. Lastly, we have the references. This covers the list of sources we have listed. Try to check APA form or the APA style when you are citing the references or the sources. Let's elaborate still more. We have there the steps. Of course, in order for you to come up with the research paper writing, you have to identify the problem, as it was discussed already. You have to write your research questions. Your research questions are different from your interview or your survey questions. The research questions would help you to have a procedure, or to have the proper procedure and a systematic way of giving out you the results. Okay? Next, we have develop hypothesis. Hypothesis sometimes is not provided, or it's not indicated in the research paper itself or in the research report, but you can have it when you have the defense, you have the title defense, or you have the thesis already. Hypothesis is a tentative answer to the research questions you formulated before. So we have their example, online learning environment leads to higher students' achievement scores. You're not yet sure, but you are only hypothesizing. That's why it says it's a tentative answer to your research question, or to the research question that you have provided or you've asked. Letter D is the review of the literature, which I've discussed earlier. Next would be the participants. Who would be your target individuals? Are they the students? Are they teachers? And so on. That depends on you, as long as it's appropriate or suited to the research topic. Choose how you will collect the data you need. The two research instruments that you may use to collect your data are the following. So the first one would be in a form of survey questionnaire. It consists of series of questions for the purpose of collecting information from your respondents, or it could be in a form of interview. Next, collect the data, analyze the data, and write the research report. When we talk about the research report, it's the final written document where you communicate the problem, the purpose, the scope, the objectives, and everything. That's the final output now. That's the research paper writing steps. The outline also of your research reports are as follows. It should answer to the questions: what is the problem? What is your research design or methodology? Present your discussion or results and findings, and state your conclusion and present your recommendations. In order for you to study more about this discussion or about this presentation, you may visit the link that is provided here. Let's apply. I want you to do the following. If you have your questions, you may comment or you may send messages. Make an outline of a research paper. Write your answer on a separate paper. Cite examples on why processes or procedures are important to, if it's about business, science, and or education. Use this outline. You must have your problem, your research questions, related studies if you can, the participants, the instrument that you're going to use, if you can have your analysis or interpretations, and final research report. Okay, maybe we have to assume here. But of course, since you are not conducting a study, you cannot come up with analysis and the research report. So most likely you have to anticipate the research instrument, whether it's a survey questionnaire or an interview. Okay, so if you have your questions, don't hesitate to ask. I'll be more than happy to help you. This is Sir Gerald, and see you again next time. Thank you for listening and watching the presentation.